Mimic takes place in New York City, where a deadly disease spread by cockroaches is decimating the population. Dr. Susan Tyler, Mira Sorvino, an entomologist, creates a genetically modified species of cockroach called the Judas breed to kill off the disease-carrying bugs. However, the Judas breed evolves in unexpected ways, and several years later, a new threat emerges: giant, human-sized insects that mimic the appearance and behavior of humans to infiltrate the city. It's a race against time for Susan and her colleagues as they must confront the terrifying creatures they've inadvertently unleashed. The characters. Mira Sorvino plays Dr. Susan Tyler, the film's central protagonist. She's a determined scientist trying to right the wrongs of her previous experiment, and Sorvino does a great job conveying both the character's intelligence and emotional vulnerability. While the film does try to focus a lot on her, there are also key secondary characters, like her husband and fellow entomologist Dr. Peter Mann, Jeremy Northam, and the tough, street-smart cop, Leon, Charles S. Dutton, who help add dimension to the story. Mira Sorvino was definitely a rising star in the 90s, and Mimic was a key role for her post-Oscar win. She had won Best Supporting Actress for Mighty Aphrodite in 1995. The film gave her a chance to stretch her talents in a more physical, dramatic role. Though Mimic wasn't a huge box office success, Sorvino was able to continue carving out a solid career in both indie films and larger studio productions. She also starred in The Replacement Killers, 1998, another 90s action flick, and did notable work on TV series like Romantically Challenged and Modern Family. Her career has been a mix of critical acclaim and more genre-driven roles. Themes. Mimic explores themes like human interference with nature, the consequences of playing God, and the unpredictability of science. The film really taps into the idea that no matter how good our intentions, meddling with nature can lead to unexpected and often terrifying results. This is shown through the creation of the Judas breed and the subsequent disaster when those creatures evolve into something much more dangerous than anticipated. Additionally, the theme of survival plays heavily into the movie, especially when the human characters find themselves on the run from the creatures in dark, claustrophobic settings. It's a battle not just for survival, but for redemption, as Susan realizes that her creation might be the very thing that leads to humanity's downfall. Similar movies from the era. The 90s were a time of blending science fiction and horror, with movies like The Fly, 1986, by David Cronenberg, paving the way for similar body horror narratives. Mimic fits right in with films like The Relic, 1997, and Anaconda, 1997, which were also about monstrous creatures, but with more of an emphasis on creature feature scares. Another film that Mimic shares similarities with is Species, 1995, a mix of sci-fi and horror where the human race faces off against a hybrid alien-human species. Both movies use human error and scientific experiments gone wrong as plot devices to create tension and fear. Guillermo Del Toro's direction. What makes Mimic especially interesting is the direction of Guillermo Del Toro. This was one of his first major Hollywood films, and you can see his signature style emerging here, even if the studio cut some of his original vision. The film is filled with dark, atmospheric shots, and Del Toro's love for creatures and mythology is evident in the design of the Judas breed and other monstrous elements. His use of shadows, moody lighting, and practical effects all help make the film's creatures feel tangible and horrifying. While Mimic doesn't have the same deep fantasy elements as Del Toro's later work like Pan's Labyrinth, 2006, or The Shape of Water, 2017, it still feels like a precursor to his more polished films in terms of blending horror, dark fantasy, and a sense of awe at the creatures he creates. The visuals and effects. The special effects of Mimic are a mix of practical and digital, which gives the film a nice, old-school horror feel. The insect design is genuinely creepy, with some great use of animatronics and makeup to create these terrifying creatures. The monsters themselves are unsettlingly alien, and their ability to mimic human behavior adds to the overall dread. Some of the CGI might feel a bit dated by today's standards, but overall, the effects still hold up well for the time. Final thoughts. While Mimic wasn't a massive hit upon release, it has developed a loyal following over the years. especially among fans of creature features and sci-fi horror. The combination of Del Toro's direction, Mira Sorvino's strong performance, and the eerie atmosphere make it a memorable film. It's not perfect, but it's a solid and entertaining movie that holds up as a cult classic in the genre. If you like other sci-fi horror films from the 90s, Mimic should definitely be on your radar. Other similar movies. If you enjoyed Mimic, you might also like The Relic, 1997, Anaconda, Night Species, 1995, The Fly, 1986, The Thing, 1982. Though it's more 80s, it's a big influence on this type of genre.